What up? Today I'll be narrating Zack the TV's gameplay. First, a quick disclaimer: this isn't meant to tell people how they ought to play. It's to further the class discussion from my last video about stats, to along the lines of actual gameplay. So please remember to comment and critique down below. Now let's get into it. The Summoner is a cooldown based class, centered around using Days in Flowers and Floral Cloak to maintain your MP levels. While using Whirling River, Sun Mirror Flowers, Blazing Sun, and Soothing Daylight to manage the HP of your group that isn't maintained by Healing Light, a heal over time spell that stacks 3 times, Healing Mist, another healing over time spell with 4 uses, and Muluo Healing, a third healing over time spell with a 30-second cooldown. Also keep in mind, these healing cooldowns are normally necessary to heal through massive group damage that bosses will periodically use. With those ideas in mind, let's get to the actual gameplay and see how I use them. Before the pull starts, as the tank is running into the boss, I make sure to have 3 stacks of Healing Light on him, and as he takes his first auto I apply Healing Mist. This is meant to keep the tank topped up while I personally position and begin to focus on the fight and where my heals are needed. I then start spreading my Healing Mist to anyone in the party that begins to take damage, switching my Healing Light to them if I believe Healing Mist won't be strong enough, and if a second target starts taking damage that Healing Mist can't handle on its own, I will use Muluo Healing on them as well. Doing my best to conserve my healing cooldowns for large bursts of damage. My goals being to use mana abilities over cooldowns, since I want to maximize the mana return from Floral Cloak and Day End Flowers, and save my cooldowns for large bursts of damage. Now as a burst of damage does come out, my goals change. I will prioritize using Sun Mirror Flowers on one group, then cover the second group with Healing Mists, unless I think they also need the other Sun Mirror Flowers. This is because this is a very strong spell, with a shorter cooldown over the others. If both of these are not enough, then I'll also use Blazing Sunday. The reason I do this is Blazing Sun is normally not strong enough of a cooldown to use on its own in my experience, so I'm more liberal with using it to supplement another cooldown, though this rule is not set in stone and depends if I have enough cooldowns for all of the damage phases of the fight. While Sun Mirror Flowers is on cooldown, if another large burst of damage comes, I will most likely use Soothing Daylight to cover that damage. This doesn't become true if the damage happens when everyone is spread out, as Soothing Daylight is no longer an efficient option, and this is where I would depend on Blazing Sun to cover the healing needed, until people group back up again. And while this is all happening, I will still continue to follow the previous steps of keeping Healing Light on the tank, unless it's needed when Healing Mist won't be enough to top another target, keeping Healing Mist on all damaged targets possible, and using Muluo Healing wherever needed. And I maintain these 2 different thought processes as a general rule of thumb for all encounters I go into. We've come this far, so let's move on to the next important section that complements my healing style. My talents on the screen are what I run through most content currently. The only one that I'll specifically cover is Healing Flush, because the other ones are completely straightforward and I've had many summoners not understand how it works in our global class chat. The way Healing Flush works is that it gives your Healing Mist 12% more total healing, while also causing it to heal for its entire amount all at once whenever the target you're healing falls below 30% HP. This has no cooldown, and I view it as insanely strong. And for my final section, a mini rant about this ability, that I believe to be completely awful. And that's Heavy Mist. It causes you to lose 30% of your healing every single time you use it. So for this spell I essentially never use it, instead relying on Healing Flush's passive to burst heal when needed. Now let's go over everything we've covered, so it's clear what my gameplay goals are and what my skill usage is. At the start of each pull, I want to have both Healing Light and Healing Mist on the tank, so that I can position myself without worrying about him dying. Healing Light is a heal over time that you can only have on one target that stacks 3 times. Healing Mist is another heal over time that has 4 usages. Next we use Healing Light to bring people up who are too low for Healing Mist to do the job, and if we need another heal over time I cast Maluo healing. This priority is to keep our other cooldowns free, for when major damage happens to the group. Now for the cooldown usage I prioritize using Sun Mirror Flowers as my first go-to, using Healing Mist on anyone who doesn't have a Sun Mirror Flower stack. If that's not enough I use Blazing Sun to supplement the healing. Otherwise I save Blazing Sun for group-wide damage that happens while we're spread out. I use Soothing Daylight to mitigate and heal damage while we're loosely stacked. And while doing all of this, we continue the regular maintenance of Healing Light, Healing Mist, and Maluo healing. Thank you everyone for making it this far into the video. I hope this helped some people, while inspiring others to critique me. Remember, the goal of this video was not to tell anyone how they should or have to heal, only that this is the way that I believe is efficient. Have a great night, and I appreciate you all. Thank